Bitcoin is two different things. It is a form of money and it is also a payment network. So just like you can send money to the Western Union payment network, you can send Bitcoin through the Bitcoin network completely separate to family and friends directly, or to make your daily purchases like your morning cup of coffee at Starbucks, or purchasing a computer online for Dell. Bitcoin is just the next evolution of money. Now, as you can see, more people are using Bitcoin than payment methods that have been around for decades, like American Express, Discover Card, and PayPal. And soon the amount of people using Bitcoin will soon exceed the number of people using MasterCard and Visa. So a lot of people want to know, so, what's so special about Bitcoin? Well, let me tell you, Bitcoin is a supremely better form of money and transacting business. So for example, Bitcoin is a global currency, meaning you can spend it anywhere in the world without going through an exchange. Bitcoin is a store of value. Now, if you don't understand, I don't have time to go into it, but you got to understand what the definition of a store of value is. This is huge. Bitcoin is also being considered digital gold, and you also want to know why gold has been valuable for years. You do not need to use a bank at all for Bitcoin. Bitcoin offers lower transaction fees and can be used by anyone with an internet connection. Now, in case you didn't know, there's over 2 billion people on the planet who do not have access to banking, okay, but they do have access to cell phones. So let's say that you have some type of business and you're selling a product or a service online. Well, if you offer Bitcoin, then you can reach over 2 billion people that the average business cannot reach, greatly increasing your profit margin. For example, Overstock.com accepts Bitcoin payments, but Amazon does not. Amazon can deliver to maybe about 50 or 60 countries around the world. But because Overstock accepts Bitcoin, they can deliver to over 200 countries around the world, greatly increasing their profit margin. Tyler Winklevoss, one of the first Bitcoin billionaires, says Bitcoin is gold 2.0. It matches or beats gold across the board. Now, before Bitcoin came on the scene, gold was the biggest store of value. But Bitcoin beats gold in two main ways. Number one, Bitcoin is highly divisible. So you can divide one Bitcoin into over 100 million smaller parts, just like you can divide $1 into $1 into 100 smaller parts called pennies. Okay, that is powerful. Number two, Bitcoin is highly portable. So for the first time in the history of mankind, you and me, we can send any amount of money to anyone on the face of the earth, just as easy as sending a text message or an email. So Bitcoin is money that works like your email. For example, here is an example in which someone sent $400 million worth of Bitcoin. The transaction took 15 minutes and cost only $2.38. Had this transaction taken place utilizing cash or gold, it would have cost millions of dollars and it would have taken much, much longer. That is the power of Bitcoin. Now, as more people continue to use Bitcoin, Bitcoin's value will continue to rise as it has done over the past decade. So, when Bitcoin first came on the scene in 2010, one Bitcoin was 5 cents, a nickel. And every single year it's been going up in value. $1, $5, $119, $4.95. And of course, nothing goes up in a straight line. So Bitcoin lost some value in 2015, but came back the following year and continued to go even higher. And at the time that I made this slide, the price of Bitcoin was over $38,000. Now, let's put it into perspective, okay? So let's say that 10 years ago that you purchased $100 worth of Walmart. Well, my friends, today your $100 would be worth $270 or turned into $270. The S&P, the stock market, $320, and Amazon, which is one of the best opportunities ever, your $100 would have turned into $1,330. Awesome. Now, if you haven't seen this before, brace yourself, because had you taken that same $100 and purchased Bitcoin instead, well, my friends, your $100 would be worth over $76 million today. Bitcoin is the best performing asset in the past decade. It has outperformed everything. Gold, Amazon stock, Google, you name it, Bitcoin has beaten it. Not only is Bitcoin the best performing asset in the past decade, Bitcoin is the best performing asset in the entire recorded history of mankind. Now, let's have a little bit of fun, okay? Now, if you're not using your phone to watch this presentation, I want you to pull out your phone and I want you to ask Google or Siri or whatever it is that you use. Best performing asset in the past 10 years.
According to Medium, it's official, Bitcoin was the best performing asset of the decade, period. In fact, it may well have been the best performing asset in the history of assets ever over 10 years.
Okay, so you can do your own due diligence. Now let's just move right along. Now, with that being said, $100 investment in Bitcoin 10 years ago would have turned into over $76 million today. However, the most profitable way to get Bitcoin with the right setup is through mining. Now, let's just say that 10 years ago, instead of a person purchasing $100 worth of Bitcoin, instead they found the right setup, which would basically be a computer machine, and then they added $100 worth of electricity. Well, today, that those Bitcoins would be worth over $1 billion, $1.2 billion. That is because when you mine Bitcoin as opposed to buying Bitcoin, every single day you're getting a little bit more and a little bit more Bitcoin. And as an added note, every Bitcoin that is being sold, when you see these big companies like MicroStrategy and Grayscale buying $15 billion worth of Bitcoin, every last Bitcoin that has bought had to be mined, okay? So without Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin does not exist, okay? So miners are always going to be profitable. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. If people can make that much money, Ron, mining Bitcoin, then why isn't everybody doing it? Well, statistically around the world, only about 13% of the population has ever even heard of Bitcoin. And that's why this is such a tremendous opportunity because, as they say, the early bird catches the worm. But there's also another reason why the average person would have a difficult time mining Bitcoin. And here's a quick video to explain. Check it out.
Bitcoin mining rigs consume large amounts of electricity, produces a lot of heat, and operates very loud. One mining rig consumes as much electricity as 40 refrigerators, produces enough heat to keep a 1,000 square feet home at 80 degrees Fahrenheit during the winter, and runs as loud as 2 vacuums. For these reasons, the average person cannot operate Bitcoin mining rigs in their homes and take advantage of the passive income stream like banks do. VBit Technologies offers a turnkey solution for average people to start making a passive income stream through Bitcoin mining without all the headaches of operating the machines. Our data centers are located in areas with the cheapest electricity rates, utilizing a combination of renewable energy sources. Custom built for Bitcoin mining, our data centers provide an environment with adequate ventilation to ensure the mining rigs do not overheat and maximizes the life of the machines so it can produce more profits for rig owners. This is an opportunity of a lifetime to be able to make a passive income by having computers do all the work while we get paid, just like the banks have been doing for decades. So what are you waiting for? Don't pass over this opportunity.
So this is one of our mining, our data centers in Colorado. And as you can see, our Vice Chairman Jen and our CEO Don with some of our members. And this is another one of our data centers in Canada. Now we actually had an article in Yahoo Finance that was explaining that this data center is among the biggest Bitcoin data centers in the world, and it is expandable to over 200 megawatts. So we will be able by the end of this year to accommodate over 1 million customers. Now, right now we have maybe a little over 10,000 customers, but by the end of the year, we will be able to accommodate over 1 million. And on December the 1st, we just purchased another data center near Whitefish, Montana. And that sale was finalized on December the 1st, which was just a few weeks ago. Okay, so if you would like to get started with VBit Technologies, we have 6 packages that range from our copper to our black diamond. Now, there is a term in the Bitcoin industry that you guys must know, and that term is called hash power. And I have this saying so you can understand the importance of hash power. Hash power is cash power. It's really horsepower, but you can remember, cash power a lot better. So based on the hash power of your package, that will determine, how much Bitcoin that you want to mine. And as one of our friends, one of our members, Hugh Benjamin says, it's all about, if you want to mine a little bit of Bitcoin or you want to accumulate a lot of Bitcoin. Now, the amazing thing about our company also is that we offer monthly payment plans. Now, I'm going to go into this a little bit later, but just to give you a bird's eye view, you can put 50% down on any package. and then you can make the monthly payments, which is displayed there for, up to 36 months, and you still get 100% of the hash power. So whether you pay for that package flat out or you put half down, you are still mining the same amount. Okay, now, I just want you guys to know one thing, all right? It is not my job to satisfy or please anybody here, all right? It is my job to amaze you, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to come out of the PowerPoint for a quick second, and then I want to go to our website, which is vbitmining.com, okay? Now, let me amaze you, okay? Let me just show you just how much money these machines can produce for you and how much money our members are making right now. So we have a mining calculator, okay? And this is an awesome tool. So the way it works is really simple. So it displays the current price of Bitcoin here, the package that you're looking at, which is our Black Diamond. And I want everybody to, mine a lot of Bitcoin. So I'm gonna show our most profitable package and our most economical package. So the Black Diamond package right now, it is mining you this amount of Bitcoins daily, which is equal to this United States dollar value. Amazing, right? Every single day, $233 worth of Bitcoin. It is mining you this amount of Bitcoin weekly, for this amount, this United States dollar value worth of Bitcoin. Amazing, all right? Monthly, you are mining 17% of a Bitcoin for about, $7,000 per month, okay, worth of Bitcoin, 100% passive. And yearly, you're mining over 2.17 Bitcoins for $85,000 per year. That is a salary, okay? This is 100% passive, guys. Now, the other amazing thing is, as the price of Bitcoin rises, okay, you will see that your profits will rise. So within the past maybe week or so, the price of Bitcoin has shot up dramatically. So let's just say that the price of Bitcoin by next week, it jumps up to, let's say, is that $50,000. Watch how your projected profits jump up accordingly. That's amazing, right? Now, let me just say this, okay? Disclaimer, okay? This is not a guarantee of income, okay? Let's get the legal stuff out the way. This is for educational purposes only, and what you actually make will be based on market conditions. So let me just get that out there, okay? All right, now, let's go back to the regular price of Bitcoin, and let's take a look at our more economical package, which is the copper. So as you can see, this is what you actually are producing every single day, with the potential, just like if Bitcoin goes up instantly. So if Bitcoin jumps up to, let's say, $60,000 by next week, which is possible, then that means that instantly, your profits will jump up based on those market conditions. Outstanding. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. Now, just so I can kind of put it into perspective for you, and I want you guys to really understand the power of Bitcoin. A lot of times when we see numbers on the chart, we just don't know how powerful it is. So I'm going to compare Bitcoin mining, and you guys decide, to one of the best, accumulators of wealth of all time, real estate. Now, over 90% of the world's millionaires have been created over the past 200 years by investing in real estate. Now, let me just give you a quick example, okay? Let's compare Bitcoin mining with real estate investing. Now, this is a house that I lived in with my family a few years ago, okay? The house recently sold for $209,000. Now, the way that the real estate game works now, and that's just like an average monthly, like 3-point-something%. I don't know. It's just an average, monthly loan amount. That amount may vary. Now, the way that the real estate game works is that you take out a loan, and you just use the actual income that you receive from your tenants to pay that mortgage, and whatever is left over, then that's your positive cash flow. So we were paying $1,500 per month, okay? Now, obviously, this is the number one economic endeavor of all time that has created more millionaires than anything. So you'll be walking away with about $512 a month. Now, let's compare that with option one with the Black Diamond package. Now, let's say that, you wanted to take out a loan, or you could use your own money or whatever. You can get your money from whatever source. Then that means that if you was to take out a loan for $72,000, all right, Now, I just gave it a ridiculously high interest rate just for the sake of this example, which was like 12% in 5 years. But we have a lot of members who have taken out loans and they ain't paying nowhere near this. But I wanted to kind of, you know, how they say to under promise and over deliver. So the monthly income from your Bitcoin mining package is about $7,061 based on the price of Bitcoin right before I made this slide, which was around 39,000. So that means that your positive cash flow after your expenses is paid is $5,450. Amazing. Now, let me show you. Now in addition, that's 17% of a Bitcoin that you're mining monthly and 2.17 Bitcoins per year. Now, keep in mind, even though that number looks good, you are still accumulating 2 Bitcoins per year. And I'm going to show you a little bit later with some price predictions and some information that's going to show you that the price of Bitcoin is expected to go, you know, over 100,000, maybe $1 million. I know it sounds crazy, but it's possible. Now, let me show you option number 2. Now, remember, you got the option of putting 50% down. Now, let's say option 2, you went with 2 black diamonds. It would be the same loan amount, or if you wanted to pay your own money, no problem. Your monthly loan payment, same exact thing, okay? But you would have 2, payments for each black diamond package. So the first black diamond monthly payment would be $1,006. The second would be the same thing, but your actual income from both black diamond packages will be $14,122, and that would give you a positive monthly cash flow of over $10,499 per month. That is phenomenal. That's an extra $5,000 per month without putting anything extra out of your pocket. Now, remember, if the price of Bitcoin, which is expected this year, was to hit, let's just say, 100,000, which is likely, okay, that means that, based on those market conditions, that the price of Bitcoin, that you could potentially be earning $34,000 a month worth of Bitcoin and $434,000 a year worth of Bitcoin. And then option number 3 is basically, remember, you can just, put half down, which a lot of our members do, which would be $36,233. And then at that, ridiculously high interest rate, 12%, which, if someone decided to do that, I can promise you almost that it's going to be lower. Then your monthly, black diamond payment would be that. And you would have a monthly income of a little over $7,000, and you'll be walking away with $5,000 in positive cash flow. That is amazing. And you're still mining 17% of a Bitcoin per month, so and 2.17 Bitcoins per year. So when the price of Bitcoin rises, then your profits rise. Now, the additional benefits is no researching dozens of properties, no posting ads or interviewing tenants, no vacancies or waiting and when you have to cover that cost of your mortgage while, you're going through an eviction or you're trying to get somebody to move in, no leaky pipes or maintenance to deal with. The computers do 100% of all the work. You do absolutely positively nothing. Now, Robert Kiyosaki is a real estate guru, and he started his first real estate deal making about $25, dollars a month. Now, I want you guys to, just to hear, I want to drop a gem for some of you guys who don't know. All right. The way that successful people and wealthy people get wealthy is through OPM. So just listen to this short message from Robert Kiyosaki.
You see, the beauty about real estate is you learn to use debt to get rich. I'll give you another tip. If you're going to be rich, you have to learn to use debt. It's called other people's money. So when I hear poor people say to me, I don't have any money, I said, because you're an idiot. That's why. You're not supposed to use your money. You're supposed to use other people's money. But that's debt. I don't want to do that. And so they stay poor.
Okay, so moving right along. Now, I want to compare Bitcoin mining to some of the other, financial vehicles that's out there. So how many of you guys know now I'm licensed and I'm licensed to sell annuities and life insurance products. And in a minute, I'm going to have one of my good friends, Brandy. She's going to come on and explain some, a few things because she has a lot more experience than I do. But did you guys know that right now Americans have trillions of dollars in annuities and all types of other, retirement, assets? So $100,000, in an annuity would get a person about $525 per month. All right. Now, IRAs, that's another, vehicle that a lot of people have a lot of money in. And at a traditional IRA, just using this example, this is just general information. You can do your own due diligence, but I wanted to give you an idea. After, pretty much 30 years, you will be contributing 180,000 to make 400, and that's in 30 years, guys. And then a Roth IRA, the example that they show here is, basically $6,000 per year for 10 years. So you will be contributing about 60,000. And after 10 years, you will have about 83,000. So maybe what's that, like 20 something in earnings. And everybody probably has a savings account. And as you know, the national average is, like 5%, 5% of 1%. But a good, savings rate would be a half of a percent. So the majority of us are not even getting 1% from our savings account. And we have a lot of money that is being eaten up through inflation. And the last thing is, a lot of people have money in 401ks, and the typical 401k return would be about, 5% to 8% per year. And just to put it all into perspective, again, I just want to give you guys something to compare it to, so you can, make an educated guess to, find out what's best for you. So as you can see, an annuity, based on the examples that I show, and you can do your own due diligence to verify that info. 100,000 is getting you $525 per month and about $6,300 per year, guys. Black Diamond package, immediate income of $7,000 a month, $85,000 per year. The benefits, you get an income now. Is no 10-year blackout period or before you 59 and a half, and all of those rules that you got to wait for annuities. Significantly more income. And if the value of Bitcoin goes up, then you make more profits, and it's a lot of tax benefits, which I'm going to show in a minute. And as you can see, you can just take a look at this, yourself, and you can just get an example of, the benefits right now of Bitcoin mining. Now, before we go a little any further, I want to bring, my good friend, Brandy Hubbard on board, and I just want her to kind of, just say a few things about, the investments, that people have over $10 trillion in right now that is not yielding them a lot. So, Brandy, come on and let's hear what you got.
Okay, great job so far, Ron. We really appreciate you, and a great job putting the presentation together as well. But this is what excited me. I've been a licensed agent for over 20 years now. And I'm gonna tell you, I have sat down with hundreds of families over the last 20 years. And unfortunately, the average person doesn't even have $10,000 saved. And when I've looked at some of the families' 401ks or annuities, they don't have much saved there either. Because unfortunately, every time they have an emergency or, they want to buy a house or, whatever reason, a lot of people pull the money out of their retirement. So you have so many people who are 50 and over. I mean, and this is a hard pill to swallow, who are 50 and over and don't even have $20,000 to their name. How in the world are they going to retire? And that's why you unfortunately see so many people that are like 75, 80 years old and they're Walmart greeters. And it makes my heart sad, honestly. They're not there because they just want to get out the house. You get what I'm saying? They're not there just because they're bored. If they had money saved properly, they would be traveling the world and doing other things, volunteering, doing other things. You get what I'm saying? So when I saw this, I got so excited. Because let me tell you something. Can you imagine $85,000 a year in a Black Diamond? And we won't even say a diamond. I'm going to tell you about my package. My package, I purchased a diamond. And to be able to earn, it's at like $32,000 a year right now. Now, you do not have to recruit. I will repeat this. You do not have to recruit. You can basically just be a customer. So many people don't even make 32 a year on their job, right? But because I love sharing great information with people, and I do love to recruit, I have a total of 2 diamond packages at this moment because my volume, my hash power is over 690,000. When I originally purchased my diamond, it was 330,000. But because of referring, I doubled it. And now, so basically now I'm making over $5,000 a month. Passive, right? Every month, daily, money while I sleep. It's like having your own cash printing machine. But just imagine all the people you can help, all the people who don't have retirement funds, where you can share this information with them. And it's life-changing information. And I actually pulled it up on my annuity calculator as well. And Ron is so right. $525 a month. What are you going to do with that? So I really want you to let this information sink in. You know, we're going to record this presentation so you'll be able to watch it again. But I mean, just keep your mind open. We have some great testimonies later. You do not have to recruit. You can buy your package and say, I'm just going to mind my business and mine. And just imagine what Bitcoin could be. I mean, when I first got my package, it was like, I don't even think it was 13,000. That was just 2 months ago. In 2 months, Bitcoin has gone from 13,000 to almost 40,000. Get excited, y'all. So it's so many people we can help. I'm going to turn it back over to Ron because I could just go all day when it comes to this.
Thank you so much, Brandy, for that info. And every time when I hear you talk, I just get even more excited. So I thank you for explaining that and just letting people know just what you've seen in your experience and the opportunity that's here today. All right, now moving right along. What I want to do now is I want you guys to understand that because Bitcoin mining is considered a business, all right? Now, for my business entrepreneurs, my business owners, entrepreneurs, and investors, you're going to love this part, but it's for everybody, okay? Because Bitcoin mining is a business, you are eligible for a 100% deduction on the price of your packages, okay? Now, here's the amazing thing. Even on finance packages. Now, disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only. I am not a tax expert. You can do your own due diligence. This is for educational purposes. But the tax rules say that you are allowed to take a 100% deduction for the price of your packages up to $1 million. And even if you finance it, so even if you was to put, let's say, $50,000 down on a package, okay, and you only put $50,000 into it, you can still take the full $100,000 deduction to greatly, reduce your tax burden. Now, this is an awesome, really short video done by our CEO. Remember, Don Vo, the kid who started his first tech company at 13, who was a millionaire when he was 15. I want you to listen to this because just by watching this short video, you're going to probably want to buy a package. Check this out.
Big tax benefit, guys. So I'll give you a quick example here. Lewis, he's a store manager at Rite Aid, and he makes $70,000 a year, which means at this income level, he's in the 22% tax bracket. And he's wondering, if he purchases a Black Diamond package with VBIT, is that going to help him save money on his taxes? So the first scenario, and this is the scenario that most people opt for, right? And that's why, we end up paying more to Uncle Sam than we have to. They, they just want to go to work, and then whatever the taxes are at the end of the year, they'll just pay Uncle Sam. So since he makes $70,000, his taxable income is $70,000, and at 22%, he's paying, the federal government $15,400. That's $15,000 that is not staying in his pocket. And that's because he chose, just to go to work and pay his taxes. But had he utilized, one of our Bitcoin mining packages to leverage all of the deductions, he can actually reduce his tax liability. So if he purchased the $50,000 VBIT Black Diamond package, right? his employment income from Rite Aid is still $70,000, right? And for example, if the first year the Bitcoin's mined using the Black Diamond package, that equipment is $27,000. That means that he has a total taxable income of $97,000 so far before utilizing the two deductions that I just spoke to you about. And the Section 179 deduction, it only allows him to deduct up to whatever his mining revenue is. So it allows him to deduct the $27,000. And then because the purchase price is $50,000, it allows you to deduct the full $50,000, meaning that bonus depreciation, you can deduct $23,000 using bonus depreciation. Now your taxable income just went from $70,000 to only $47,000, guys. And instead of paying Uncle Sam $15,400 for that year, you end up paying Uncle Sam only $10,340. That means that you kept over $5,000 in your pocket that year, just by utilizing the simple strategy already. You just saved yourself over $5,000 in taxes. And the beauty behind it is, remember in the last slide when I said you can utilize both these deductions on financed property, like financed equipment and stuff like that too? Which means because VBIT offers you a monthly payment package and VBIT is financing the equipment to you, even though your purchase price is still $50,000, even though you just paid in only 35% of that, which is $17,500, right? And let's say you made a few monthly payments, so you end up paying like only $20,000 into it or whatever like that. You can still utilize these two deductions to deduct the full $50,000. That means that you not only are you able to take more in tax savings than you would have under traditional rules if you didn't know about these deductions, you now only put out about $20,000 of the $50,000 that you're deducting. And you're saving over $5,000 in taxes a year, guys. And that's the really powerful part of using Bitcoin mining and the VBIT packages along with the monthly payment options to really leverage and reduce your tax liability, because you're not only reducing your tax liability on the Bitcoins that you mined, but now it just spilled over to help you save taxes on your employment income too. How many of you guys like to save money on taxes on what you make at your job? Everybody, right? And this is one way to do it. This is the reason why rich people always get richer, right? Because they know about all of these different tax strategies. And they're always saving that few extra $1,000 in their pockets. Whereas we continue to go to work and we're paying all of the maximum amount of taxes that we have to, when there are things available to us to reduce our tax liability. The second...
And basically, one thing that he didn't mention, which is important, even though you saved the $5,000 on your job income, you made an extra $27,000 from your Bitcoin mining and paid no taxes on that. So it's tremendous tax benefits with this. And we had, and that's like a hour and a half technical video, which is available to our members if you want more information.
Big tax benefit, guys.
Okay, now I want you guys to know, all right, that what I've just showed you, it's not just in theory, okay? I don't want you to just think that, okay, well, this is what you can make. We actually have people right now making money every day, okay? So this is Jason, okay? And this was back last year in April, and he was displaying, his returns from his mining package. So, and basically what he said was, let me just go back, because I like this. It says, it's nice to know that while practicing social distancing, I'm still mining over $143 a day. Thank you, VBIT. Now, Jason is mining $143 worth of Bitcoin daily, $4,200 worth of Bitcoin monthly, and over $50,000 worth of Bitcoin yearly. Now, look at this, guys. This was last year at a $6,900 Bitcoin price. The price of Bitcoin hit $40,000 today. So I can promise you that Jason is making about 3 times this amount, okay? 100% passively. And this beautiful lady here is Iris, and she's been a member for a short amount of time, and she's basically showing you her mining results, from her back office. Okay, so this is the amount of Bitcoins that she's mined, and I believe that before she actually took this screenshot, that she took maybe about $7,000 worth of Bitcoin, all from mining 100% passive. And this is Labriska, aka Biscuit. And this is what her Kaboo wallet looks like. And as you can see, what she did was she showed 2 days worth of mining. So as you can see, I think this was maybe her mining results from yesterday. And this is her mining results, I believe, from today. And she also has taken Bitcoin out. But that's $160 per day for someone who has been in our business maybe less than a year, been in our company. So that is amazing.
2 months.
2 months. Wow. Thank you. And look at that hairstyle. She must be a hairstylist because, that's a beautiful picture. And I like that hair. All right. So, and this is Big Al. Okay. And Al just got started, and he's basically displaying his, Bitcoin mining results from his package. And let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see. And this is how much Bitcoins that he has accumulated so far, that amount of Bitcoin for that United States dollar value. Remember, guys, this is 100% passive. The computers do all the work. You do absolutely nothing.
And he's pulled out a lot.
Wow.
Because he has a black diamond. That's just, I don't even think that's 2 weeks.
Okay, well, that's awesome. And this handsome guy here, this is my dad. And now this is back in August, okay? And I didn't get a chance to update his, okay? But this is what he was making back in August. And, and right now I can tell you that, when the price of Bitcoin jumped up, his wallet looks much bigger now. He also has a black diamond package. And then about one day he made, maybe about $7,000, $8,000 in one day just from the value of Bitcoin going up. Like this guy, one of our other members, just from the price of Bitcoin up, I'm getting a little tongue tied because I'm so excited. Just from the price of Bitcoin going up in one day, he was able to buy his son a car. Okay, $24K in one day just from the price of Bitcoin going up. Can you get that from any other opportunity out there? $24K in one day, and I think this was posted today or yesterday. That is amazing. And we have a lot of members right now who have, even more Bitcoin, who they might have made $50,000 or $100,000 in one day. I want you guys to understand. Now I'm gonna go to this really briefly, just to let you guys know these are a lot of businesses that accept Bitcoin. You can buy a Dell computer, you can pay for your airline tickets through Expedia, pay your AT&T bill. You see the Winklevoss twins at Starbucks. How about a Bitcoin bucket? And it's happening all over the world. Norwegian Air, Japan's biggest railway, even the Miami Dolphins accept Bitcoin. And some football players are even saying, pay me in Bitcoin. Like this guy, I don't know if I can pronounce his name right, Russell, Okong. He will be the first NFL player who will be paid in Bitcoin, half of his salary, $6.5 million. That lets you know that this is serious, guys. And you can even receive a U.S. tax return in Bitcoin. Now, I want to let you guys know some of the businesses that are getting involved in Bitcoin. Fidelity Investments, in case you didn't know, they control over $8.2 trillion in assets. They are the biggest asset manager in the universe, okay? They are involved in Bitcoin, and they have actually been mining Bitcoin since around 2015. The New York Stock Exchange chairman says Bitcoin and digital assets are here to stay. The Stock Exchange has over $30 trillion in assets. Paul Tudor Jones, who is a legendary hedge fund manager, has allocated, and this is old, this is probably from last year, so I didn't get a chance to update everything, but he's allocated almost 2% of his portfolio to Bitcoin. And if you haven't heard, MicroStrategy, they have purchased over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, within the past few months. And that $1 billion that they purchased in August, they have already profited from the value of Bitcoin going up. They have already profited over $1 billion in 4 months. Okay, so that's the power of Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor, basically he's saying that, the reason that they got involved in this is because Bitcoin is a dependable store of value. So if you don't understand that that term store of value, do some studying and you will understand why Bitcoin is powerful. And Rich Dad Poor Dad says that buying Bitcoin now is one of the biggest opportunities. Now I want to give you guys some price predictions. This is Tim Draper. He's predicting a $250,000 Bitcoin price within the next 4 years. He is a billionaire investor in Skype and Tesla. Anthony Pompliano, who is one of the most knowledgeable people in the Bitcoin space, says that we can see a $400,000 Bitcoin price. And by the end of 2021, the price of Bitcoin will skyrocket to at least 100,000. And this is a Bitcoin stock to flow model that's saying the same thing, which is pretty accurate. Now, I love this because this is the director of PayPal. Not only does he say that Bitcoin will be worth over $1 million in 7 to 10 years, but he says not investing in Bitcoin should be considered irresponsible. Now, we get a lot of people who have, who talk to family and friends, and they, I have people all the time who say, well, the government can shut Bitcoin down and Bitcoin isn't good. Well, who do you get your information from? A billionaire that owns $1 billion company, or do you want to get it from the, the guy at the, neighborhood barbershop? James Altucher, he's predicting a $8 million Bitcoin price. And here's a quick video of some even higher price predictions. Check it out.
Here's going to be huge, it's going to blow up everywhere,
Do you think you'll be able to spend Bitcoin at Starbucks one day?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, it's the future.
Then you come up with a number of about $2 to $5 million per Bitcoin.
We just wrote a piece that we believe that Bitcoin is going to go to 10 million.
$10 million per Bitcoin price in today's terms, without even counting the sort of the inevitable hyperinflation of fiat currency. And so this is my reasoning.
So you think that a single Bitcoin will be worth $10 million?
In today's money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do.
Going to the next stage, which will be the solution to the world debt problem. Then we will go to $10 million.
A single Bitcoin will be worth $10 million in today's terms for one Bitcoin. That will be a $160 trillion market cap or network value, a 2,000x increase between now and our death.
So we think that you may end up seeing Bitcoin by the end of the cycle as high as $10 million per Bitcoin. $10 million per Bitcoin. $10 million per Bitcoin.
And that's from one of my favorite Bitcoin documentaries, $10 Million Bitcoin Endgame. Okay, so check it out on YouTube. Now, this is Raoul Pal. He's a former managing director of Goldman Sachs, and he basically predicted that Bitcoin was going to, I think back in August when it was like around maybe $10,000, $12,000, that he said that, that it was going to jump maybe $100,000 to $200,000. I mean, 100% to 200% by the end of the year. He was accurate, okay? Because the price of Bitcoin at the end of the year closed at around 29,000. Now, he also goes on to say that it may not be worth owning any other asset other than Bitcoin. And in addition, he has allocated over 90% of his portfolio to Bitcoin. Now, he is a managing director of Goldman Sachs, so he is an expert in global financing. So when you hear somebody like this, who has allocated over 90% of his portfolio to Bitcoin, you want to look into it. He goes on to say that the devaluation of world currency will cause Bitcoin's price to rise 50 times to 100 times and eventually reach $1 million. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. This is one of my favorite quotes from Alvin Toffler. He wrote a book in the 70s called Future Shock, explaining the technology that we will have 50 years into the future. A lot of people looked at him crazy because many of us do not have the ability to adjust to change. Like this guy, the former CEO of Blockbuster, who passed up a chance to buy Netflix for only $50 million. Netflix is now worth $125 billion with a B, and Blockbuster is out of business. Now, we're coming to the end of this presentation almost, but this gets me to the most important point of the entire presentation. Many of us cannot recognize an opportunity, even a good opportunity, even when it's staring us right in the face. We suffer from paralysis of analysis. I would hate for anyone in this presentation a year from now saying, man, I wish I would have gotten involved with Bitcoin mining. Now, how do you know that a company is legit and not a scam? Viva Technologies is registered with all necessary government agencies, so you can do your own due diligence. Now, we also offer a business platform, as Brandy was speaking about a little bit earlier, where, in addition to the Bitcoins that you mine, you can actually make even more money. So we have 4 income streams. The first is our instant referral commission, in which you receive 6% of what of what you refer, and this is also paid down 7 levels. So we have a very robust compensation plan, and we're going to get into that a little bit later due to time. The second income stream is the referral hash power bonus, which Brandy talked about also, where when you refer someone, when you do the business, you will receive 10% of the hash power of that package. So let's say you came in with a copper package, okay? And let's say you referred 10 black diamonds. Well, for a whole year, you're going to get the hash power of 10% of those black diamond packages. So you would have a black diamond package for 1 year. And once that year is over, you still keep those Bitcoins. And as the price of Bitcoin rises, you're going to be even happier. The third income stream is our binary bonus, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But because it's a little detailed, but you have the opportunity to make up to $20,000 per week by building a team. Okay, and you will receive what your weaker leg produces. Now, one of the most exciting income streams is our Infinity Team Builders bonus. So let me explain how it works. You get a one-time, once you hit, certain milestones. Let's say when you hit $5,000 in sales, and that's not just you, that's you and your team. The company's going to give you $100. $25,000 in sales, $400, and $100,000, you're going to get $1,000. We've had some people, I think, like Brandy and Ebony and some of our, the people who really get this opportunity, they've hit these bonuses, I want to say maybe in like a week, maybe 2, maybe less than 2 weeks or a week. So, this is real, and, we're in a hot industry. The second level of the Infinity is that when you achieve the rank of regional leader, and the ranks will be explained a little bit later, the company's going to give you a $5,000 shopping spree once you and your team accumulate $500,000 in sales volume. The next level of the Infinity is when you achieve the rank of national leader, the company is going to, and $1 million in sales volume, the company is going to, give you a $10,000 luxury vacation. The next level is when you achieve national leader and $3 million in sales volume, the company is going to give you a convertible BMW 430i. And this is our first recipient. Now, keep in mind that our company is growing faster than we can even handle. And our company is only about 3 years old now. So this is Lori, who is one of the first recipients of, this bonus. And this is Nixon. I'm actually here at the office right now. He's a good friend of mine. He's up meeting with some other people that's interested in, getting involved. He got his BMW back in August. And yesterday, Charlotte, one of our other members, she received her BMW. And we have maybe about a couple of other members who have received BMWs. The next level of the Infinity is when you achieve global leader, and you and your team accumulate $30 million in sales volume, the company is going to give you the motor vehicle of your choice up to $350K. And last, but not least, when you achieve the rank of vice chairman and you and your team do $200 million in sales, the company will give you a $1.5 million home, and they will also give you $100,000 worth of Bitcoin to furnish it.